Hi everyone, this is Mike Velez. Good to see everybody again. I'm here to share my colleague video in regards to the questions that related to everything we've gone over during this course. So the first question was to think about how I would model and promote information literacy perspectives on technology integration and best practices in my role as a phys ed teacher. So to be honest with you, before the pandemic, I can honestly say I didn't really promote information literacy. I'd find something to use as far as technology, implement it with no questions asked, and neither of my students. They were just like, okay, cool, this looks cool. Since the pandemic, according to K-12 Dive, information literacy has been put into the spotlight because now students and educators are relying more on online technology and sources, and it becomes hard to distinguish between what is fact or fiction. So with that statement, and I'm at fault this too, we find something that looks good, we don't ask any questions, we use it, and that's what our students do. But now that, our students and we as teachers are relying on technology and online things more and more and more, we have to really, make sure we distinguish what is fact, what's fiction, what's real, what's not real, what's good, what's not good, before we actually can supply and use these things for our students and in our classes. As far as Larry Cuban's statement in an article on perspectives, I don't agree. There are many schools that have stepped away from the traditional classroom and textbooks. For example, my wife's district totally relies on the internet computers. They're one-to-one. Every kid has a MacBook. Every teacher has a MacBook. I think the only textbook I know that she has, she's also a health phys ed teacher, and it's not even a textbook, it's just a first aid, pamphlet. Everything they do relies on via the internet, computers, and all those kinds of things. The district I teach in, we are one-to-one as well. We have Chromebooks. As far as textbooks and things like that in our classrooms, I think we might have like one or two in our health rooms. The only book we have in our driver ed room is the driver ed manual, and we've only been getting one box, which probably has maybe 100 manuals in it for a school that has 3,000 students in it, because the manual and everything could be, put online through PDF. So even though we're one-to-one and we're not, as advanced as many other districts that have, the budget to do so, we are, definitely on the way of getting there. To go along with that, a lot of textbook companies now have switched to online access as well as, many of the district curriculums. I know that our district curriculums, it's all online now. Everything could be accessed via our, health and phys ed drive through our, open and shared Google Drive that any parent or, district worker can go in and look at the curriculum if they wanted to. So there's no more need to supply students with textbooks. Teachers don't need the teacher edition anymore. Everything is accessible online. What can educators do to make technology work without the high costs? So, many of us have already navigated through this topic. My experience, teacher pay teacher has a lot of free resources used on things like that. PE, physical education, Hotspot, websites that I've used before have tons and tons and tons of free resources they can use. And to get the higher end, if you want to just get an additional resource or print out things like that, if you don't want to create your own, then you pay for the premium version of what you are looking at. But 9 times out of 10, anything that I need as far as a resource, I can find online free, either from another peer, anywhere across the world that is also a phys ed teacher that's created something, or again from like a tangible website that I mentioned. In my district, we have a specific budget for our subject area. We use this budget for necessary things like equipment, etc. And there are a few technological areas that the district spends money on to support the school. But to alleviate the cost, like I said, we find free apps, technology, anything that can impact our students. How does your experience in the past year and a half change how you view teaching and learning? Being a phys ed teacher and health teacher the past year and a half has been extremely challenging. When we were virtual during the pandemic, trying to share the importance of health and phys ed to our students was very difficult. Trying to get them motivated and moving and things like that was extremely difficult, because what I'm doing right now with you guys is exactly what I was doing with my students. And that's a lot different, for regular subject teachers, where it's based on content, and for phys ed it's based on movement and activity. So it was very, very difficult. Now that we've been back for like a year and a half now, it's still been very, very difficult to get our students back on track from that sedentary lifestyle that we had for almost 2 years. So we've kind of switched our role from the whole sports and motor skills and things like that to kind of focusing on, health and wellness, giving them an opportunity to come up with what they like to do to keep themselves healthy and active. Kind of more of like a choice activity based scenario. What can we do to ensure students are better prepared? I believe it all comes down to transparency. At the beginning of every school year, I'm always, honest with our students. During the pandemic, when we were virtual, I was, straightforward and just told them, I don't know how it's going to happen. I don't know what the plans are tomorrow, next week, the following week, the next month. I just kept telling me, it's a day by day. We're doing it together. When I know something, you'll know something, and we'll just get through this whole thing together. It's been an experience that if you put it all out there, and if you're real with students, they become more acceptable to what you're trying to get across to them. And again, they become more comfortable and they become more open. So I just want to say thank you to everyone who helped me during this course. There were a lot of constructive criticisms that we all shared with each other, and that's just only going to make each other better. And using this format has really, really transformed, how I will go about into the next school year, starting September, with my colleagues. Thanks again, and I will see everyone in another class, I'm sure. Have a good 4th of July.